So page 19 is a review for quiz 3C on 3.4. So, okay, so for number 1, we have -5 minus 2x equals 3x plus 20. Okay, so this one is pretty straightforward. So what we're going to do is I need to get the variable on one side. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides. Now I could have subtracted 3x, but I like to keep my variable positive. Now I have to subtract 20 because I want to get my 5x by itself. So I have -25 equals 5x. Now I have to divide by 5 because 5 is multiplying the x. So to isolate that, I get x equals -5. Now, number 2. So number 2 has a lot of distributing. So we have -3 times x minus 8 minus 5 equals 9 times x plus 2 plus 1. So the first thing I have to do is simplify the left and simplify the right. To simplify the left, first I'm going to distribute. -3 times x is -3x. -3 times -8 is +24. 9x plus 18 plus 1. So my first step in simplifying is distributing. But then my second step is combining like terms. I have no other x on the left-hand side, but I can combine these two and get 19. And this is 9x plus 19. Okay? Now, the most important thing is to get your variable on the same side. Okay? But I'm going to show you a mistake some of you will make. And you will say, well, I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides. Now, if you do that, you get -3x equals 9x. Some of you are going to say, well, that's not true, no solution. That would be wrong, because you can never discuss the truth value as long as the variable is there. Has our x disappeared? No, it hasn't disappeared. So I still have to get my x on one side. When I do that, and everything disappears, I have to put a 0. So I get 0 equals 12x. I still divide by 12, and I get as an answer x equals 0. And this is the type of problem that many of you mess up because you think -3x can't equal 9x. Well, it can if x is 0. And then you also think, well, I can't have nothing on the left-hand side. But you can, and in math, when we have nothing, we put a 0. Okay. Now, let's do the check for this one. So -3, x minus 8 minus 5 equals 9 times x plus 2 plus 1. And I'm going to substitute a 0 wherever I see an x. So -3 times -8 minus 5 equals 9 times 2 plus 1. So positive 24, because a negative times a negative is a positive. 24 minus 5, does that equal 18 plus 1? And it works because 19 equals 19. Okay. Now, let's do number 3. Because in number 3, we have to distribute a negative. Now, as I copy this problem, I'm going to put Grandma at the front door, because I never work with Grandma at the back door. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is distribute. So I have 8x minus 5x minus 15 equals 21x minus 3. 8x minus 5x is 3x minus 15 equals 21x minus 3. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. -15 equals 18x minus 3. Then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I get -12 equals 18x I'm going to divide both sides by 18, not by negative 12, because the 18 is multiplying. And when I simplify, I get x equals negative 2/3. Okay. Now, for number 4, I have 1.2x plus 4.3 equals 2.1 minus x. Now, I don't like to deal with decimals, so I'm going to multiply every term by 10. Now, the most common mistake here is you multiply all the terms with decimals, but you forget to multiply the x because you're not thinking about it, because you're like, well, it doesn't have a decimal I have to get rid of. But you have to distribute the 10 to the negative x too. Now I'm going to add x to both sides. Subtract 43. And I get 22x equals negative 22. Divide by 22, divide by 22. X equals negative 1. Okay, so that's the end of this video. There'll be another video on this review.